Roddick, Jannik Sinner, has to set the table in different ways on clay. The former world number one and co-analyst Coco Vandeweghe previewed Sinner's return to action at the Internazionale BNL d'Italia. The Tennis Channel Live panel forecasted Jannik Sinner's return to action at next week's Internazionale BNL d'Italia in Rome. Sinner, ranked world number one and reigning Australian Open champion, has been off court since winning his third major title due to an anti-doping suspension stemming from a pair of positive tests last spring. The 23-year-old was initially found to bear no fault or negligence by the International Tennis Integrity Unit, ITIA, for the banned substance clozapine, which was attributed to a massage treatment from then physiotherapist Giacomo Naldi, but was later given a 3-month suspension following an appeal from the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA. Sinner spoke of his own comeback earlier this week, hoping to pick up momentum after months away from match play. Analysts Roddick and Coco Vandeweghe weighed in on Sinner's forthcoming return to the Foro Italico in Rome, where he will play for the first time since 2023. Though Sinner has won 3 majors on hard courts, the world number one has proven to be a formidable opponent on clay, reaching the semi-finals of Roland Garros in 2024. I worry about him zero over the long term, but if it's just the small sample size of Rome, a small sample size can tell many stories, said Roddick, a former world number one. I'm not worried with how he hits the ball. I'm not worried about his movement. I thought he actually looked great on the clay last year. We kind of forget he was a set away from beating Carlos Alcaraz in the semis of Roland Garros last year. So, I think he'll be fine long-term. Will he have jitters in Rome in front of the home crowd? Remember, he didn't get to play in Rome last year either. So, since he's become the Jannik Sinner, the legend, Grand Slam winning number one Jannik Sinner, he hasn't played Rome, so there's obviously going to be jitters. Vandeweghe echoed Roddick's sentiments, citing Sinner's appearance and subsequent practices at the Rolex Monte Carlo Masters. I think that's the best thing for him, is playing in Rome, in his home country. He will only have positive vibes out there because there's going to be that negative connotation because of the doping ban, the reasons behind it, and all of the hoopla that came with it. But I do love that he has been around tournaments. He came to Monte Carlo to be able to practice a little bit. So, he's starting to get the buzz and the energy of being back on tour life. That's the thing that's always the trickiest, feeling those nerves and getting through them. If you're around it enough and you're practicing in the venues, I think that will settle him a lot more. He could have won the French Open last year. He was weirdly close to winning the French Open last year. I think he's absolutely capable. Roddick, who won the US Open in 2003, previewed Sinner's chances on clay. Though all 3 of Sinner's major titles have come on hard courts, the Italian reached the Roland Garros semi-finals last spring and pushed eventual champion Carlos Alcaraz to 5 sets. I don't think it's going to be his best surface, said Roddick. When he has 2 feet firmly planted on the cement, that's where he's going to be dominant. But he could have won the French Open last year. He was weirdly close to winning the French Open last year. I think he's absolutely capable. It's just a couple extra balls. He's not going to be able to blow people off the court like we've seen on the other courts, and he doesn't get as much work on his serve. He's improved that wide serve on the deuce side so much more on the hard courts. He's going to have to set the table in different ways on clay.